Aptima 76.3, HBDNA assay 82.5. Sensitivity in detecting AIS, 100%. Sensitivity in detecting AIS assays plus samples 95 versus 90. And then the negative predictive values are essentially at equivalence. So this is really, really reassuring that in actual fact you interrogate the Aptima assay against the DNA assay, you're getting very, very similar screening performances. The focal study, 4-year longitudinal follow-up, so there was no significant difference in SIN2 detection for Aptima versus HybridCapture-2 at baseline at 48 months. That message is actually got lost in translation, and there are many iterations of that message which are not necessarily favourable to Aptima. Baseline Aptima negative and HybridCapture negative women have similar SIN2 plus rates at 48 months, demonstrating the safety of a 4-year screening interval for Aptima negative women. And finally, for the 4-year longitudinal follow-up of the focal study, Aptima HPV screening has higher specificity at baseline, which would reduce colposcopy referrals by at least 14% as compared to HybridCapture-2. So what's the difference in terms of the survivor trial? The survivor trial has actually got the big two at the moment, Cobas versus Aptima head-to-head. Right? A lot of these studies are comparing HybridCapture-2, which has largely gone by the wayside, and I regret that, because I knew the people that developed that test. So back to this slide again, maximizing benefit, minimizing potential harm. Right? So we need a test with high specificity, high positive predictive value to reduce unnecessary overtreatment. So I like this slide with the sexy cat and the sexy whiskers. Okay? And it's about sensing the presence and the activity. A test of risk and a test of disease. So Aptima does have better specificity, and it's got a rival positive predictive value, which will reduce false positives and results in avoiding unnecessary overtreatment. So as we sit in this room, you put yourself in the woman's shoes. What's the consequence of a false positive for her? She's probably going to end up in colposcopy. And she's probably going to have a cervical lesion that was anyway destined to resolve without intervention. You're burdening the patient with surveillance of unclear efficacy or endpoints. The psychosocial effect is absolutely enormous. We've looked at that within survival. And we heard last night very eloquently the risks associated with lead and colonization. So it does detect presence and activity, and that's what makes it different from just DNA. Right? We're looking at the transforming genes that are involved in inducing carcinogenesis. And you've also seen this. Aptima, across a whole load of tests, has increased specificity as compared to HPV DNA tests. That data's out there. And ultimately, if you dig into the data, you'll actually be able to work out how much Aptima decreases false positives by when you compare the DNA-based test, whatever that is, to the Aptima HPV test. It's consistent in every single publication. It's proven superior specificity. Don't take my word for it. Take Mark Arvin's word. He said Aptima HPV is as sensitive, but significantly more specific. And the data, metadata, is shown here. So, if we've got a capacity for a test that is a test of risk and a test of disease, because it's detecting the transforming genes, then, and ultimately leading to a reduced number of referrals for colposcopy, that's really, really good, right? Because if we can reduce colposcopic referrals by 23%, we are minimizing potential harm to that woman, and we're reducing healthcare costs. We're using smart science to drive smart medicine, to drive a smart outcome. And you know, physical and emotional burdens on women, or any person with pre-cancer and cancer, is enormous. I went through a cancer scare 4.5 weeks ago, right? Now I am in the system, and I had everybody dancing to attention. I could not imagine how somebody outside of the system would feel with very little information and very, very little knowledge. The Aptima test can detect 16 and 18 and 45. Like Ronnie Fanley and many of her colleagues, I believe that in actual fact, that the first and most important thing that we need to know is this one 16 or 18 or 45 positive. And why is the 45 positive? We saw this graph last night because adenocarcinoma was increasing and the amount of gene disease is increasing. Almost finished. And we know that 16, 18 and 45 are the ones that are associated with cancer. And in adenocarcinoma, they make up almost 94 to 95%. It would be stupid and wrong of us not to include those 3 genotypes to comprehensively evaluate patients that we think have cancer abnormalities. So 16, 18 and 45 have higher carcinogenic potential. 45 is a strong predictor of adenocarcinoma. But 45 is virtually never found in a healthy woman. It's a fantastic biomarker of itself. Okay? So, back to this nice lady who's looking out there to the future. Yes, we should be about high sensitivity and negative predictive value, but also we should be about high specificity and positive predictive value. Now, what does the Aptima HPV mRNA assay tell me? So I've been working with this thing a long time. And it's got excellent sensitivity, and it's got a really good negative predictive value. The 7-year longitudinal evidence is there now. There's significantly improved specificity as compared to DNA assays, and that's universal. And to be fair to competitor technologies, they accept that now. The 45 genotype is important in relation to the increasing trend of adenocarcinoma. And it is a very easy and cost-efficient system to use. And essentially, the ThinPrep vial goes across the full value chain in terms of giving you that test of risk and test of disease. So smile at the cat. The whiskers are actually fluorescent because the cat gets the milk with the test. It gets the test of risk, but it also tells you about disease. And in time, I'm sure, we will have this test with a whole lot of biomarkers of disease, some of which I tempted you with last night, and that will further advance the science. And of course, we have the AI digital cytology coming along also. So thank you very much for your time and your attention. Thank
you very much, Professor O'Leary, for highlighting this powerful diagnostic test. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed for showing us with a very nice way the shaping up of the things to come in the future probably. According to what we've seen, Aptima detects RNA transcripts and particularly E6 and 7 protein. Is that right? As it is?
Correct.
The question is, are all the E6 and 7 proteins produced by the HPV identical in terms of molecular structure?
No. The answer to that is no, because there are splice variants of E6, E6, 1, 2, and 3. The current Aptima assay covers those, but the proteins are different, so you're not going to get absolute concordance between the E6, E7 data and the type of protein that is produced. So to get those proteins, the truncated proteins, you have to go back to epitope map, the antibodies that you're using to pull out the proteins. I would advise people to use human expression arrays. We have Hex 1 because there's also really good commercial arrays available. And if you're interested in doing that, you need to expend the time and the effort to understand that you do in actual fact you do have these truncated splice variants of E6. Very good question. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I work in the UK, and I believe currently the whole of Wales, Scotland, and the whole of the South is going to be using Aptima for primary screening.
That's correct.
So I think your talk was excellent, and thank you very much. My question was looking at the future, because I know there's a lot coming up on self-sampling. Do you think there is a potential for Aptima, and where is the evidence at the moment for the use in self-sampling?
So that's a very good question. So we have the Survivor Self trial open. So the evidence for DNA in self-sampling is comprehensive, I would think, at the moment, even going across to urine testing. We are in discussions with various manufacturers of HPV detection strategies to put in place a new optimized protocol so that we can actually detect RNA, DNA and proteins from cell samples. So we are talking a little bit about that at Eurogen, and it's not quite there right now, but it's not 1,000 miles away either. Thank you.
Since you mentioned that, I thought if you introduce a preheating step, then the Aptima improves. Is that correct?
That's correct. So that's the problem, and we need to come up with a chemical and thermal solution to that. There are ways of doing it. For example, you could protect the mRNA capture sequences by using beads. I can't say anymore now because I'll be shot when we talk to sit down. But there are ways of getting around that. Yeah.
Are there any more questions? I would like to clarify something. So the optimal screening method is co-testing, having a pap smear and a lipid-based cytology test together with mRNA?
So it depends where you live on the planet. Okay, so co-testing I heard is, there was evidence presented here that co-testing is probably safer, I think, and it was probably a more optimal approach. In the part of the rock that I come from, we are moving to primary screening as they are in the United Kingdom. Co-testing is seen as being health economically not that efficient because you are double costing. In the United States, co-testing is used all the time, right? So co-testing is absolutely safe, but more expensive. And you can co-test with either RNA or DNA. And it depends what question you're asking with your co-test, right? So I say to all my research students and to all the junior doctors that I've trained, there's one maxim in medicine: rubbish in, rubbish out. If your cytology isn't good with co-testing, it doesn't matter a damn what type of co-test you want to use. Your cytology has got to be good. So the concern, I suppose, in the British Isles is that the influence of cytology, and I suppose the resilience of cytology, is a potential problem going forward. Move to primary HPV testing and then sort out with cytology as a potential triage test. But again, I would appeal to people, right? No test, no HPV test is 100% foolproof, right? The Aptima test goes a long, long way to getting there, but no test, we are still going to have women who are going to have cancers, notwithstanding that they're HPV negative. And of course the problem is, if they're HPV negative, they won't have the triage test or the test of disease. So then of course the next question you ask yourself is, do you go to co-testing, right? That's certainly one way of doing it. Or do you take out subpopulations of women that are negative? This is a very difficult area, right? At the end of the day, the politicians and the head of technocrats make the decisions. People like me on the ground, they listen to you and they pat you on the head and say, very nice, but they go off and make their own minds. So that's the way it is.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much.